at our firm, technology is our friend. We want to utilize technology as much as we can. So it takes off the grunt work and the admin work for us so we can spend more of our time on high value tasks.
Welcome to The Transfer. Today, I'm excited to speak with Lacee Workman. Lacee is the owner of Prime Tax and Accounting, a firm that's focused on helping companies increase their profits, reduce their taxes, and really doing all of the planning and services. I'm excited to dig in a little bit to her expertise. Lacee, thank you so much for joining me. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. So I do have a unique background. When I finished my bachelor's degree in just general business, I hit the corporate world in the construction business. I worked my way up in the construction business. I started as like a payroll assistant and then AP. And then, that role made me realize, okay, I want to do more with this. So I went and got my master's degree in HR. And right after I got my master's degree in HR, I got my first kind of HR role for a small construction company. This company, they've been around for a long, long time, had employees, but didn't even have like an official employment application, handbook, policies, anything. So I went in and I created all of that for them, got benefits set up for their employees and their company. And one thing led to another, where next thing I know, I'm the office manager and I'm doing the books, and then I'm going to learn how to do the taxes and then hiring. And then I become basically the general manager. I'm the operations director. I am wearing all the hats. It was right underneath the owner. And it was great. It was fun. I learned so much. And I switched industries for a bit. I went to medical field and I was an HR director there for 5 years. Bigger company, so I really got to learn more there with about 100 employees. Again, doing all the things. And even though I was HR director, I was so close with the accounting department because I was doing payroll and benefits that I was the backup to accounting. I was really the right-hand person to the CEO and went through a layoff. I decided to purchase the landscape company that I was that general manager for. So I purchased that business. So I owned the landscape snow removal business for a few years and I sold that. And then I thought, I want to help more. Like I couldn't decide if I wanted to help in an HR capacity or an accounting capacity. And I just decided I'll offer both. And I'm going to start a accounting HR virtual remote firm. That way I can help anybody anywhere. And it's really been a perfect fit ever since. I mean, it is such the ideal position for me. I can help other business owners just get a handle on their business, whether it's HR or accounting and taxes, take that workload off of them so they can focus on really the core operations. As a previous construction business owner, I know what it's like. I know the day-to-day. I just know their business. And I also know accounting and tax and HR. And so it's a good fit because most construction business owners they're not experts in those areas, right? They're probably expert in the field or the trades.
Yep. Delivering of the product, vital skills, but you also are running a business. What's that kind of mix of clients that you have, and what kind of challenges do you see them facing that you're helping them navigate?
Yeah. So we're really trying to put ourselves in front of construction businesses that are doing at least $1 million a year in sales. We find that that's a good point where it's a higher value on the need for accounting and payroll and whatnot. So there are challenges that they're seeing is like just not knowing what they don't know. They don't know if they're complying with either HR laws, payroll laws. Are their profit margins good enough compared to their competitors? What should they be charging? What's my break even? How do I cut costs? One of the things I hear a lot from construction owners is okay, my profit and loss says that I profited $1 million this year. I don't have $1 million in the bank account. Where did it go? And that's not just for construction businesses, that's for any business, right? So I love solving that for them. I love telling them, okay, this is where your money went, and this is how it translates to your reports. And if you're wanting to change that, this is how we change it. We set some strategic planning goals for the business, and then we figure out how to get them more of those profits in their bank account, which then leads to tax planning too, because if you make more money and you profit more, then you're going to pay more in taxes. So then we got to fix that problem once we fix the other problem.
Make sure you're maximizing the return side of things.
I feel like a lot of business owners, they might feel shame even to ask or even bring up our books are a mess, or I'm afraid to say I don't think our reports are right, or whatever. Like, no business is perfect. And all businesses have areas to improve and get better at. And I would just ask yourself, like, why are you postponing that? Like, just make the decision to hire a professional and start getting better today.
And what the investment is in the professional may be completely offset by the savings they get, and then some, right? And so that, like, when you think about that value proposition, you're not even spending more, but you're going to get more. I love how you got to this, lived it, experienced it on your own, and we're like, I know how to help you navigate these things.
Yeah, I think it's nice that, I mean, my construction clients, when they tell me like, okay, we're going to go buy a new telehandler, or we need this skidster, I know exactly what they're talking about, even the heavy equipment stuff. And then we can talk about, like, okay, what's direct job time? What's indirect job time? Like, how much of the indirect stuff do you want to allocate to jobs? We get super nerdy with it. And that's what I like.
All right. So when we first chatted, I loved hearing a little bit about some of the things you've been dabbling with. We were talking about kind of the technology side of business in general, like all businesses, small, large. Every day we wake up, there's a new tool, there's something we can be trying. And I'd love to hear what either you're experiencing, start with your clients, and then also some of the things you're guinea pigging with your own business. So I'd love to hear a little bit about that, because I know you are really experimenting a lot with technology.
Yeah. At our firm, technology is our friend. We want to utilize technology as much as we can, so it takes off the grunt work and the admin work for us, so we can spend more of our time on high value tasks. So when I think about some clients, I've got one client, it's a solar install company in Hawaii. They've got a large team and a lot of different departments and crews. And the biggest challenge is making sure all the data is up to date at any given time, whether that's the inventory in the warehouse or the job status in their project management system. And there's a lot of moving parts with their business, because a job will go from creating the estimate or bid, signing the contract with the client, setting up the client in their CRM, their project management system, getting the supplies and equipment ordered, scheduling the jobs, scheduling the crews, and there's phases. There's a design phase, there's the equipment ordering phase, there's the install phase, and then they have like the final completion stage. And they're using Insightly for their CRM/project management tool, which is really great. It's really nice. It's got a lot of customization to it and integration, because we want to integrate a lot of many programs as we can so we can do the talking, so it doesn't take a person like inputting data if we can help it.
You said it right there, right? Figuring out how to bring them together, even if they don't have an open API. Like, now there's ways to do that with middleware that makes you don't want more tools. You want them, hopefully you have less and you can streamline, or at a minimum, the ones you have, they talk to each other in a way that is actually insightful.
Yeah, definitely. So we've just really been honing in on that, making sure that this system can be their one main system that tells anybody anytime what they want to know about the project, about the crews, the schedule, the inventory, the billing, the income, the cost, all of that, right? So we're just trying to get all the data all connected create custom reports, create special workflows that says, okay, when this is done, it sets off the next trigger and notifies somebody else that this is done. Now do this, or, things like that.
Move it down the pipe.
Yep. Keep moving. Yeah. We don't want any bottlenecks. So, that's been, their main focus. And it's going good and it's really, really exciting. The next push is probably going to be, integrating a new inventory management system. We're kind of doing it old school still. So, it's hard for some people. They don't like change, or they don't trust the new system. Yeah. So
Standing up new technology in any organization is not easy. In the training and just the work it takes. And it's still, like you said, it's habits in daily life is born off of people functioning in certain ways. And when you disrupt that, it takes a lot of training and retraining.
Yes. And it's not going to be a perfect solution overnight. We know that. In my experience, especially like with big payroll softwares, or like a big company running payroll for, like when you make a payroll transition, like you can't fully leave the current payroll provider until you do one or two new payrolls in the new system, because it's going to happen. There's something that's not going to transfer over, right? There is something, it's guaranteed that something's not going to go as perfect and smooth as you want it to be. And so I've just learned that you kind of have to still do it the old way a couple times until you can trust and verify that the new way, you've worked out all the bugs, you've thought of everything. And I'm imagining that's what's going to happen with the inventory too. Like we're still going to have to track it a little manual, like we've been doing it for a couple months, until we know that the new system is it's working.
No, you need overlap. It's just that, like, what's the first line of defense, and if it falls,
have a backup plan.
You definitely. That sounds like wise advice from someone who's probably lived some of these different experiences and jobs over time. All right. So I love that example. Tell me a little bit about what you're doing for Prime in your own business in terms of, I think we were talking about documentation. There's just so many things that intake of, potential clients, down to scheduling, down to like reporting. What have you tried? What are you like? I'm not sure about that.
Luckily enough, I think accounting firms have way more opportunity to leverage AI and automations than most other businesses, to be honest, because we're dealing with data. We're dealing with data, and data is easy to, connect to and integrate and work with, I feel like. So I'm lucky and I'm excited at the same time. So obviously we use AI and automations. To me, automations are easier. Like that, my brain can think very clearly on setting up an automation workflow. So like if a prospect books a call with my appointment setter booking link, then that automatically gets added to my CRM with all of the info that I asked them to complete.
Yep.
And then they automatically get an email with the intake form that'll also collect more data about them. That's one of my favorite automation workflows that I use in my firm. But then even after that, like since they're in my CRM in a certain stage in the pipeline, it moves them from different stages based on what I'm doing with that contact and all of my in my system. So it knows that they booked a call through my Calendly scheduling link. Okay. So it moves them to booked meeting or booked a call. And then it watches my proposal system. And as soon as it sees that I sent a proposal to that contact, it moves them to proposal sent. And then as soon as that person signs the proposal, it moves them to one stage. And then there's just so many more workflows that get triggered from there, like the onboarding. It sends them their onboarding email with a link to schedule the onboarding call. It adds them to all of our platforms, like our accounting system, our task management system, our Slack for internal channels. It really cuts down so much admin time that who needs to spend time on that?
Now, when did you implement this? I love hearing this example. So like, when did you have this kind of stood up and you were like, oh, wow, this is really game changing, the client experience, how we bring people on, and how, like you said, we get to results faster.
Yeah. Well, I just realized like either I was spending so many hours on these silly little admin tasks that I could be spending my time on real work, real service delivery for the clients, or I was a bottleneck to it, right? Because I didn't have time to add them to Slack and add them to all these different things and send them their onboarding call. I was like, either I have to give this to somebody else to do or just automate it. Like it just seemed like the easy choice. Let's just automate it and set it up. So I think I've had it for about 2 years now, the whole workflow working. And it's so inexpensive, like so inexpensive. Like, yeah, when I thought I could give it to my VA, or I can just spend a few hours setting up this automation workflow, it was a no-brainer. Like I'm definitely going to set up the automation.
Yeah, I can figure this out and
yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't have to hire a professional to do it since I'm pretty tech savvy. It worked. I have both Zapier and Make to do automations because one can do better in some than some others. So
oh yeah, there's some that there's different ones that you want to tap N8N for different things depending on what is the connection, what is the challenge you're trying to solve. Yes. I doubt there's many sitting in your position that are that savvy with it, to be honest.
Especially not your traditional older firms. Yeah, it's the newer firms that are definitely doing things like that. One of my newer favorite automation that we set up, it's a game changer for our firm. Oh, and I know every firm has this problem, and I'm sure if there's another accounting firm out there listening to this, they're going to want to do this because it's going to save them hours every month.
Okay.
And it took me a long time to find the right solution. I tried others and it just took a while. So do you know how when you log into a bank account or any financial system, or not even a financial system, like it could be like a tax site or whatever, and it says, okay, sending you a code to your email or your phone, and you have to get that to log in.
Good old dual authentication.
Yes. I mean, we live that every day. I can't get around it.
Yeah. Wait.
Yes. Where's my phone? Yes. Well, all of when we have to have access to our clients' bank accounts and credit card accounts and their retirement accounts, payroll accounts, all these things, right? So we manage all these logins, and all of these logins were sending codes to my phone number. And so my team couldn't get in access without bugging me all the time. Hey, send me that code. Send me that code. And I'm like, we got to stop this.
There's no way to.
I want to go on vacation. I can't have you not work because I'm not working someday. Like it's just not usable. So we are using Make now, and I use Zoom for my office phone. So as long as we set up my Zoom office phone to getting the codes, receiving the codes, we can use Make to create a auto forwarding message. It watches if any text messages come in with like a 4+ digit number, it's going to say that's a code. Yeah. And we need to forward that to this dedicated Slack channel for the whole team to see. Oh, and so if they see the code, they just know to go to Slack and watch for that code to come in, and they don't have to ask me for it. My phone could be off. It doesn't matter. And they're going to get it no matter what time of the day.
Oh, cool. So cool.
It's really awesome because then we don't have to bug the client. The bookkeeper or staff member doesn't have to bug me. They're going to be able to get their work done when they want to work on it. Mm-hmm. So that one is one of my favorites. It took a while to find the right solution. I went through like 3 different ones. It was definitely worth testing and finding a good one.
Well, how many people do you have working for you? I'd imagine like if you get even just like 1, 2, 3 employees, it's like, goodness.
Yeah. Well, I have 3 staff members right now, plus a couple of contractors, but I focus on more oversight and strategic planning and CFO tax planning strategies. But yeah, they're the ones dealing with the codes a lot more than I am right now. So that was a real game changer for us. And something else that I played with when it comes to like AI, there's this one site that I've used called Replit. And Replit will basically kind of create either an app for you or a tool for you. I was working one day on a client trying to calculate their service break-even rate. They wanted to know how much revenue do we have to generate every month to break even, just to break even. We just need to know that stat. We just need to know what it is.
Like forecast, basically.
Yeah. Like, because, what do we need to give our salespeople a goal for? And what do they have to close in order to know, like, we're going to be in the green that month, or, we're going to be okay. And then they also wanted to know, like, what's our labor rate break even? All these break even figures that they wanted to know. And I thought, okay, I'm going to spend some time breaking down this calculation for them. But this is going to be the first time I'm doing this. Like, I've already done it many times before, but I'm tired of doing it over and over again. So
It's Groundhog Day. Yeah.
So I hopped on Replit that I heard about at a conference recently, and I spent 3 hours telling Replit what I wanted to create. And it was anything from what does it look like, what color, what font to use, what the formula is, testing it. And I basically made a service business break even calculator page. There's like 3 different calculators on it. And it just took 3 hours. And I published it. It's now on my website. And so I haven't really advertised it yet. Like, this is literally the first time I'm talking about it. But yeah, and it might be beneficial to people if they just ever want to play with the numbers. Like, what if my costs go to this? What's my break even going to be? Or
Oh my gosh, yeah.
what do I have to generate in revenue to break even this month? Or if I want a profit of 20%, what does my revenue need to be? So all these different,
You can tune it, fine tune, play with the different inputs to get a number.
Yeah.
And you made that yourself. Just
totally myself. 3 hours of time. I probably, since this is the very first time I used that tool, there's probably some time in there just like learning how to navigate Replit. So I'm really excited about the next project that I'm going to use Replit for, and hopefully it'll be less time.
Oh yeah, you want to, and even just like you said, the branding things, the things about it, like
Yeah.
look like, which are fun, but they're not like, I made something that actually helps people run their business, anticipate financials in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you talk about going to a trade show and ultimately maybe making some contacts, those are the great tools you could be using in your lead nurture strategies down the road. That's like, hey, here it is. You don't have to work with me. Just know I have this resource for you. If you have questions, reach out. But
Yeah.
like you've got a lot of different things in your arsenal that could help you market in a great way. And honestly, like, have you ever thought about like consulting with other firms on how they like up their up their technology game?
I know I probably should be. I'm in a couple of like mastermind groups, and I seem to always be like the more advanced expert user in these groups. I'm always helping them with whatever, but I do see a lot of firms now, they're like pivoting their business instead of like just finding more clients to do service delivery work. They're now advertising as, I can help your firm scale to this or whatever. And there's just so many of them out there. I've just decided I'm not going to enter that race.
Yeah. It's more of like just, you could even just the basics of how do I help you run your business more efficiently. I'm not surprised you're in mastermind groups because those are some really cool examples. I love, love, love hearing these stories and saving time, no jobs lost, right? This is exactly the conversations I love having. Like there's use cases here and you can use them. So, all right, just a couple more questions I'll ping you on. So you've figured out a lot of solutions. What is still like the one thing that's driving you nuts? If you're like, if I could make this go away, this is what would go away. It doesn't have to be technology per se. What is that pain point?
I would say I definitely have 2 pain points. The first has been a pain point for a really long time now. It's just like figuring out how to get my marketing working for me and getting myself or the firm in front of the real qualified leads, the target clients that I'm looking for. Because first, it's layered. I got to figure out how to get in front of them, and then I have to make sure that my messaging and content is spot on, so they convert or they really understand, like, oh, I need to hire an accountant, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of layered. And of course, in my business, service delivery always gets top priority, and marketing is always down at the end. So I don't spend a lot of time on it like I should.
No, it's so funny. I've worked in big and large and actually in marketing, and it's one of the first expenditures that gets cut. But it's usually an expenditure, an investment.
It's always been an expense that has been easy for me to cut because I haven't had proven results from
ROI.
marketing campaign. So I didn't have the ROI. So I'm like, oh yeah, get rid of it because it's
It's
not paying off. But if I were to have a real true marketing machine that for every dollar I put in, it was going to give me $3 back, then I would never turn
You
it
would
off.
never shut the machine off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to be mindful of time. So looking to the future, you've got, 12 months down the road. What does success look like for your business?
Man, I still want to help more. Like, there's a lot of bad actors out there in accounting and tax, and a lot of my clients come to me saying, my previous bookkeeper um, wasn't doing things right, was charging me, but wasn't getting the work done, or I've got a mess on my hands, and they just come to me in shambles, and I have to unfortunately charge them to clean up someone else's mess. But I just get real satisfaction from knowing that they're going to be in good hands now. Um, so I really want to help more business clients getting reliable, trustworthy service. Any business owner, how are they going to know that the person they're interviewing or looking to hire for accounting and tax really knows their stuff? I just really like knowing that I'm giving them really good, solid advice. I'm the type of person that I won't give you an answer unless I know I'm giving the right answer. So sometimes the answer to their question is, I don't know yet. Let me research it. Let me find out for you. And that's always the best answer.
Let me go build you something. Give me 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
No, you want someone who's that entrepreneurial, mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, again, this is key stuff for people's business, right? So the value you can bring, they don't even realize in a lot of ways until, they've got a year under their belt, and all of a sudden tax time looks a lot different than in the years prior. So, all right. So if someone wants to get in contact with you, learn more about Prime Accounting and Tax, what's the best way to reach out?
So our website is primeaccountingtax.com. And of course, there you can see a little bit about our services, but you can book a call with me from the site. You can call me. My email address is there as well, which is just Lacee, Lacee, at primeaccountingtax.com. All the contact info is on the website, or you can find me on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook and Instagram.
You've got all the socials. Love it.
Yeah.
I know you ding yourself for marketing, but it sounds like you're doing all the right things. All right. Well, Lacee, thank you so much for your time. And that wraps us up for this episode of The Transfer.
Thank you.